I am Hendrie, a Malaysian from a state called Sarawak, who was born into a Taoist family, the eldest of 7 children. I was the only one who became Catholic. I received baptism confirmation in my first Holy Eucharist on 23rd April 2011. My initial call occurred even earlier, during my secondary high school years in 2010. At that time, I was too young for seminary and my parents did not agree. They objected strongly to my intention. So I had to listen my parish priest's advice. He said, you better go for study and gain life experience. So I pursued my studies in medical imaging, X-ray, and graduated in 2016. I was immediately employed by a private clinic and hospital in the Department of X-ray as a radiographer and I worked as a radiographer for 3 years. In early 2019, I spoke to my parents again about joining religious life. Again, they strongly disagreed. That disagreement led to months of silence. We are not talking about vocation. However, midway through 2019, they sent me a message, simple message. Son, you can pursue what you want to be. Later on, my mother mentioned that they had been observing my persistence since 2011. That's the blessing from my parents by allowing me to pursue God's higher call despite our different faith remains in my greatest joy to this day. Today, they support me and seek to understand the formation I am undergoing. Every day I pray and ask for motherly intercession for my parents' good health and support. Why do I choose Redemptorist? Why I feel called to Redemptorist? I was inspired by their mission to serve the impoverished communities in the distant regions of my own hometown. 2 things drew me to the Redemptorists: their unique way of preaching the good news and their closeness to the people, which reveals the heart of the shepherd. Even before entering, I felt restless, empty, despite having almost everything. I have career, cars, and freedom to do what I like. Yet I chose to follow Christ because I encountered a redeeming conversion of heart that led me to God and to the Redemptorist charism, which is the spiritual heritage and mission of the Redemptorist congregation, focused on preaching the gospel and serving the poor. Some of the young guys had asked me how I persevered and faithful in this way of life at this time of the world that we live in. My response is, coming from my personal experience as living as a religious brother, talk to Him in our daily prayer life, not just for guidance or petition, but ultimately to cultivate the intimacy or closeness with Jesus. That intimacy will provide us His grace, joy, and strength. Of course, by the help of our formators who journeyed with the Seminarian. On 14 July 2024, I made my first temporary vows in the congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer. And here I humbly ask you to pray for my journey as I continue my formation here in Australia for another 3 years. I just came here last February, so just started my theology studies, so I ask for your prayers and your prayer much of us spiritually. And also, especially pray for young men, local young men and women to answer what is called bravely with open heart, because the Good Shepherd will always guide you in your journey. Thank you.